Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss the poem The Lost Leader by Robert Browning. It is a very wonderful poem composed by Browning. Robert Browning belongs to Victorian age. Victorian age means it is the age when Queen Victoria was ruling over England. He belongs to that particular age, that is 19th century. Robert Browning belongs to Victorian age, and it is a very wonderful poem composed by him, The Lost Leader. Let us discuss the poem in detail. Now let us have an introduction of the poet Robert Browning. Robert Browning was born in May 7, 1812. He died in December 12, 1889. He is considered to be one of the very important poets of Victorian age, considered to be the major English poet of the Victorian age. He is noted for his mastery of dramatic monologue. Now, dramatic monologue, it is a kind of a poem. Actually, it is a poem in the form of a speech or narrative by an imagined person, the character which has been created by the poet. And the speaker reveals the aspect of their character while describing a particular situation or series or events. In dramatic monologue, a poet creates a kind of character, and that character speaks to the listeners. The listeners may be imaginary, they may be real. He speaks, that is a single speaker in the poem. Only the speaker speaks, and the speaker, it is a character which is created by the poet. Another important aspect of Browning's dramatic monologue is that it is a psychological portraiture. Psychological portraiture means it brings out the psychological condition or the features of the personality of the character which is created by the poet. It brings out his psychological state. It brings out its psychological picture, how the personality is, how he thinks, how he behaves, how he works, what type of personality the character is. It is just the study from psychological point of view also, that is psychological portraiture. It is the speciality of Robert Browning. A number of dramatic monologues, wonderful dramatic monologues are composed by Robert Browning. The Lost Leader, it is one of them. Let us understand the context of the poem, because Robert Browning's dramatic monologues, Robert Browning's poems, they start abruptly. To understand the poems of Robert Browning, we have to understand the background also. We have to understand the context of the poem. While understanding the context of this poem, The Lost Leader, we have to focus on these chief features or these chief points. First of all, we have to understand that the poem is a monologue. What is monologue? Monologue is a speech by one person. Here, the character directly addresses an audience. The character speaks his thoughts aloud while the listeners keep silent. The character expresses his thoughts, and the audience, they are not supposed to speak anything. It is only the one person will speak, the character will speak, and the audience will listen. Secondly, the poem is composed by Browning, as it has been mentioned earlier. The poem is a critique to William Wordsworth. Actually, it is considered that the poem was composed by Browning as a critique to William Wordsworth. Now, what is critique? Critique is a detailed analysis or assessment of something. It is an assessment of the poet William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was considered to be one of the very important poets of that particular era, of that particular period. It is a critique to William Wordsworth. He is regarded to be the lost leader. William Wordsworth here in this poem is regarded to be the lost leader, the one who is wavered from his ideal path, who has missed the ideal way of life. Browning actually admired Wordsworth as a great poet because William Wordsworth supported the French Revolution and the ideals of humanity, and that's why he was considered to be the ideal poet in that particular period. But later on, Wordsworth supported conservative politics, and Browning thought him as who betrayed or cheated his followers by changing his ideals. Later on, he accepted another path. William Wordsworth accepted another path and he changed his ideal. He changed his beliefs, and that's why it was a shock to all the disciples. It was a shock to all the followers of William Wordsworth, and that's why the followers of William Wordsworth, the disciples of William Wordsworth, they felt hurt, they felt dejected. They thought that their leader had betrayed them, their leader had cheated them by chasing new ideals. That's why here Robert Browning presents him as a lost leader, the leader who has missed the ideal way of life. Here the lost leader will be William Wordsworth. Actually, Browning thinks that the leader has surrendered himself to the power of money, and that's why he has lost his ideal path, and he has been presented as the lost leader. Wordsworth is considered to have missed the ideal way. The disciple means followers. The disciples are very sorry. They feel very sad. The disciple are sorry to find a moral degradation in him. Some things are there, some realities are found out by the disciples, and that's why they feel so sad. They feel so sorry to find that it is a moral degradation in him. In him means in the leader. And that's why because of moral degradation माने अधपतन जिसे बोलते हैं, that is नैतिकता से अधपतित हुआ leader, that is moral degradation of the leader, because he has missed the ideals, because leader is there who is supposed to follow the ideal. If the leader doesn't follow the ideal, then it is very natural that the disciples will feel sorry, the followers will feel sorry, because it is because of the ideal the leader is followed. The leader is being followed because of his ideal. But when that ideality is missed, then naturally the disciples, they feel sorry for that particular state, and that's why the disciple, they find a moral degradation in him, and that's why it is the presentation of the lost leader from the angle of the one of the disciples, that is Robert Browning. Robert Browning was a great admirer of William Wordsworth at that particular time, and that's why it is about the lost leader, that is William Wordsworth. The poem begins with these lines: just for a handful of silver he left us, just for a ribbon to stick his coat, found the one gift of which fortune bereft us, lost all the others she let us devote. They, with the gold to give, doled him out silver. Browning, here he presents himself as one of the disciples. Browning says, a follower says that just for a handful of silver he left us. Here he means William Wordsworth. He left us for a few coins, but the leader left us for a very little money. The leader has cheated us. He left us for a handful of silver. He left us for a few coins. Handful of silver means for a few coins, for a little money. He left us. Just for the sake of money, he left us. He left the ideals. He just left the ideality, the ideal path. He left us for the sake of money, for the sake of handful of silver, just for a ribbon to stick in his coat. It means just to achieve an honor in the court, he has betrayed us. He says, the speaker laments here that their great leader has deserted them. He has been bribed by the ruling Conservative Party. The party gave him a small amount of money as pension, as it has been mentioned, a handful of silver, and also offered him the baggage of honor to be sworn in his coat. That is called the ribbon to stick in his coat. An honor was offered to him, and for the sake of that honor, for the sake of money, our leader left us. Found the one gift of which fortune bereft us. He found one gift that is money, which fortune bereft us. It means the fortune has deprived us all, for the fortune has not given us, that is money or wealth. The follower has given him the other gifts like love, honor, etc. The followers have given him the other gifts like love, honor, etc. But the followers could not give him money, and that's why, for the sake of money, that the fortune bereft us. Fortune bereft us. Fortune is deprived us of money, isn't it? We have not money, and that's why the followers cannot give the leader the money. The material things cannot be given by the followers to the leader. But the leader found one gift, the leader found one gift, that is one gift, that one gift is money. The leader found that gift, and that's why for that gift the leader has left the followers. Found one gift of which the fortune bereft us, lost all other she lets us devote. They, with the gold to give, doled him out silver. Doled him out silver, it means the ruling party distributed gold. Doled out means to distribute. The ruling party distributed gold, silver coins to our leader, and for the sake of that money, he has left the ideals. He has left us. He has left the followers, and that's why that is a very pathetic stage, and that's why it is just a lament over the changing of attitude or changing of ideals of the leader. It is a lament over that particular action of the leader. Just for a handful of silver he left us, just for a ribbon to stick in his coat, found the one gift of which the fortune bereft us, lost all the others she let us devote. They, with the gold to give, doled him out silver. The poet says, they, with the gold to give, doled him out silver. How all our copper had gone for his service. It is already mentioned that the Conservative Party or the other party have offered gold or silver to the leader. No, they offer gold to give and doled him out silver. Means they distributed gold, silver to the people, and they offered gold, silver to the leader, and the leader accepted that. How all of copper had gone for his service. Here the leader says, or here the speaker says, not the leader, here the speaker says that the common man's party only had copper. How all our copper, the common man had only copper, no silver or no gold to offer the leader. So he and his people had copper. Copper means less money. It is not equivalent to silver or gold. It is not as costly as silver or gold. They have only copper, means less money, and all of it would have gone for the leader's service. And all had gone for his service. His means the leader's service. And that's why now they have nothing. Rags, were they purple, his heart had been proud. They have only rag. Rag means old and torn cloth, because they are poor, and that's why they have only rags, torn and old cloth. Despite previously, the leader used to feel proud to get the respect from the people of his party. Though the party used to feel proud, his heart had been proud. The leader used to feel pride to be the leader of these poor people. But now he has changed the party. Now he has changed the ideals. We that had loved him so, followed him, honored him. The speaker says, we loved him very much. We selected him as our leader. Wordsworth in his youthful days supported the human rights. But now he has changed. The lost leader is there. The leader is lost. The leader is changed. So the speaker confesses, we loved him. We loved him so, we followed him, we honored him, and lived in his mild, means soft. Lived in his mild and magnificent time. We lived in his softness. We lived in his ideals. We lived in his mildness, his softness, his kindness, his generosity, and in his magnificent time. We used to live with his sympathy to the poor people. And magnificent means great eye. The eyes which showed great dreams to the poor people. because the people, they had great expectation from this particular leader. Whatever the leader used to think, whatever the leader used to dream for the betterment of the poor people, the people used to believe in him, and that's why he lived in his mild and magnificent eye, learned his great language, caught his clear accent. The followers were so fond of him that they loved his language, means they were highly impressed by his speeches. They followed whatever he used to say. Wordsworth was considered to be an intelligent, wise person. So whatever he used to say, that was considered to be right. So his followers tried to understand his wise words and imitated the same. And that's why it is said, learned his great language and caught his clear accent, made him our pattern to live and die. This is very important thing, where all the devotion, or we can say where all the faith, it is offered at the feet of the leader. It is complete belief, it is complete trust on the leader. The followers say, we were so influenced by Wordsworth, we were so influenced by our leader, that they made him the pattern, means ideal or a model to chase him. They wanted to chase him like an ideal. They wanted to chase him like a model. They wanted to follow him like an idol, we can say. They were ready to live and die at his command, means they were ready to do anything for the sake of the leader, their master. Such was the belief and trust they had on their leader, and that's why it is said, made him our pattern to live and die. So much was theirs, who so little allowed. Shakespeare was of us, Milton was for us, Burns, Shelley were with us. They watch from their graves. He alone breaks from the van and the freemen. He alone sings to the rear and the slaves. Here, some names are mentioned here in this stanza. Shakespeare was of us, Milton was for us, Burns, Shelley were with us. These are the great names in the field of literature. Shakespeare, Milton, Burns, Shelley. They were considered to be the ideals, because great thoughts were presented by all these people. Great philosophies were woven wonderfully through literature by all these people, and that's why their importance in the field of literature was great. Here, the speaker says, these poets, means Shakespeare, Milton, Burns, Shelley, these poets were once mentors to Wordsworth. They were masters to Wordsworth. Wordsworth used to see them as ideal. After their deaths, they must have been watching with us. Here it is said, Shakespeare was of us, Milton was for us. They were of the same kind of thought. Whatever Wordsworth wanted to preach to the society, whatever Wordsworth wanted to give to the community, the same kind of pure thoughts they were taught by these people. It was by Shakespeare, it was by Milton, by Burns and Shelley. Same kind of philosophy was taught by these people. Now, they must have been watching with us. With us means with we the people, the Republican Party. With us, these great people, they also must have been watching what Wordsworth is doing. They also must have been witnessing how Wordsworth have changed his ideals, and must have felt that he has betrayed or cheated them. They must have been watching. They watch from their graves. Now they are no more. Shakespeare is no more, Milton is no more, Burns is no more, and Shelley also is no more. But from their grave, they must have been watching what Wordsworth is doing. They also are witnessing the deeds or changing of ideals of Wordsworth. According to the poet, they are also feeling hurt because of the behavior or because of these betrayals or cheating of Wordsworth. He alone breaks from the van and from freemen. He means Wordsworth only has broken away from all these principles, and he has freed himself from the progressive way. He alone sings to the rear and the slave. Rear means to go back, and preferred to be the slave of the conservative. He alone sings. He means Wordsworth. He alone has gone back and he has surrendered himself as a slave to the Conservative Party, to the different party. He, the leader, has compromised with the principles of the Republican Party, to which the speaker and the poor people belong, isn't it? And that's why here it is the pain which has been expressed by the speaker, that the leader has changed his beliefs or ideals. That is a pain which has been expressed by the speaker here. We shall march prospering, not through his presence. Songs may inspirit us, not from his lyre. Deeds will be done, while he boasts his quiescence, still bidding crouch, whom the rest bade aspire. Blot out his name, then record one lost soul more, one task more declined, one more footpath untrod. Here it is the second part of the poem. The second part of the poem brings out different mood of the speaker and his readiness to move forward without the leadership of the lost leader. He is ready to accept the reality as it is. He is ready to accept the reality that the leader is no more with them. The leader has just left their party. This is the reality the speaker wants to accept. We shall march prospering, not through his presence. We means the followers are ready to prosper without his means the leader's support. Though their leader has deserted them, yet the followers are not discouraged by his absence, and that's why they say not through his presence. We don't want his presence now. We are ready to move forward without his support, without his presence. Songs may inspirit us, not from his lyre. You know, they are sure that they will get inspiration, though it is not from their leader's poem. A lyre is a musical instrument. It symbolizes the poems composed by William Wordsworth, because William Wordsworth was a poet. They will go on fighting and they are sure to get victory, though there will not be their leader to inspire them through his songs and poems. And that's why songs may inspirit us. Other songs will give us inspiration, not from his lyre. Now his songs will not be there. His motivational songs, his motivational poems will not be there, but we are ready to go ahead without his poems, without his motivation. Deeds will be done while he boasts his quiescence. They will perform brave, heroic deeds, though their leader prefers to remain calm. Quiescence means calm, isn't it? The leader remains to the leader prefers to remain calm and boast on his quiescence, means aloofness or calmness. While he boasts his quiescence, while he means the leader, he boasts, he feels proud of his calmness. But deeds will be done. But we will move forward. We will perform our duties. We will perform the brave, heroic deeds without his presence. Still, bidding crouch from the rest bade aspire. Crouch means bend down. When the lost leader will bend down like a slave, he will surrender like a slave to the Conservative Party, but the followers will be aspired and will be inspired by other leaders, isn't it? Still abiding crouch whom the rest bade aspire. Blot out his name, then record one lost soul more. Now blot out his name. Blot out his name means remove his name from the list of the ideals or the motivators, and record his name as a soul who have lost after money and fame. Record one lost soul more. One more person has just wavered, or one more person has just lost his ideals for the sake of money. Blot out his name. We are ready to remove his name. One task more declined, one more footpath untrod. Let us decline his task now, his work now, his ideals now. Let him walk on his footpath. Let us leave him. Now the speaker is ready to leave the leader who is lost, and that's why here the readiness of the speaker can be seen, that he wants to leave the life, or he wants to move forward without the presence, without the guidance of the lost leader. One more devil's triumph and sorrow for angels, one wrong more to man, one more insult to God. Life's night begins. Let him never come back to us. There would be doubt, hesitation, and pain. Forced praise on our part, the glimmer of twilight. Never glad, confident morning again. Now the speaker says, one more devil's triumph and sorrow for angel. He says, again the devil or the evil spirit has achieved victory, and angel means the good spirit like us are expressing our sorrow, because it is really a great pain which has been experienced by the follower, that the leader has lost, and that's why it is one more devil's triumph. It is the triumph, it is the victory of the devil, the evil spirit, and the sorrow for the angels. It is the sorrow, it is unhappiness, it is just the depression for the angels, the good spirit. One wrong more to man, one more insult to God. Let us bear with the fact. Let us endure. Let us tolerate one more wrong to men or to mankind. It is one man. It is one once again the insult to God done by the lost leaders by leaving the ideals, and that's why one wrong more to man, one more insult to God. Life's night begin. Let him never come back to us. The speaker is determined now. He is firm and he says that the night of life has begun. It is a difficult phase of life. But we are ready to let him or allow him to come back. We are not ready to allow him to come back to us, isn't it? We are not ready to accept him as a leader now. Life's night has begun, that the darkness of life has begun, the difficult phase of life has begun. Let him never come back to us. But we are not ready to allow him to come back to us, to guide us, to motivate us. We don't want his motivation now. We don't want his guidance now. There would be doubt, hesitation, and pain. In his absence, there would be doubt, there would be hesitation, there would be pain. We do not want a force or false promise now. He says in the next line that force praise on our part, the glimmer of twilight, never glad, confident morning again. We do not want force or false praise again. If he returns, they would not have the same confidence on him now, because he has lost that faith. He has lost that trust by betraying, by changing the ideals, by changing the party. And the people, the followers now would hesitate to follow him. Never a glad, confident morning again. That confidence will not be achieved again. That trust, that faith will not be again achieved by that lost leader, because already he has betrayed them, he has cheated them, and that's why the speaker and the followers, they are not ready to trust on the leader once again. They are not ready to accept his leadership again. Best fight on well, for we taught him, strike gallantly. Menace our heart, we master his own. Then let him receive the new knowledge and wet us. Pardon in heaven, the first by the throne. Here, the speaker says, so it is better to him to fight for the party he has joined. Best fight on well, for we taught him, strike gallantly. Already we have trained him, or we taught him, and a best fight on well. We would like to suggest him that whatever the party he has joined, do your best. Best fight on well, for we taught him, strike gallantly. Already we have trained him to fight against the situation with a great bravery. Strike gallantly. We taught him. We have trained him to fight with great braveness or with great confidence. So it is better for him to fight for the party he has joined. The speaker says that we taught him to fight gallantly. The followers have trained him to fight bravely. Menace our heart. We master his own. Menace means danger, or menace means the quality feeling. It is also another meaning of menace. The speaker says that let the leader use his skill to fight against them before we achieve mastery over him. Then let him receive the new knowledge and wet us. It is an opportunity for our lost leader to gain new knowledge, to receive new experience, to receive new knowledge. Let him understand new things and accept new experiences. Here the speaker is confident that of his ultimate victory, that ultimate victory will be achieved by the followers, है ना, and defeat of the lost leader. So he says at the end, pardon in heaven, the first by the throne. We pray that the heaven should pardon. Pardon means the heaven should excuse. The heaven should pardon whatever he has done, the first by the throne. And here the poem comes to an end. Here it is the picture. Here it is actually the speaker, as it has been discussed earlier. It is a dramatic monologue, and that's why the character, it has been presented by the poet. The character is the disciple. The disciple, the picture of the disciple, it has been created by the poet, and the character speaks to the listeners. The listeners may be real, the listeners may be imaginary. Right from the first line up to the last line, it is only the speaker who has spoken, who has expressed whatever he feels, and that's why it is a monologue. ये मोनोलॉग है. ये सिर्फ पहली लाइन से लास्ट लाइन तक एक ही व्यक्ति बोल रहा था, स्पीकर ही बोल रहा था. It is a monologue, and the pain has been expressed. The cause of the pain is that the leader has lost the party. The leader has lost his disciple. The leader has lost them. He has left them, and that's why it is a pain in the heart of the disciple. It is the picture of the lost leader which has been presented by the disciple. He feels very sad that the leader has left them. The leader has just left them, and the leader has forgotten the ideal path. The ideal ones which has been taught by the leader himself has forgotten all those ideals, and that's why it is the pain which has been felt by the speaker, it is expressed here.